The 2024 NFL season is vastly approaching, and before we can get to the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Baltimore Ravens, let's go through our post-NFL draft rankings and see where each team fares going into this 2024 season. And let's start off with our 32nd ranked team, the Carolina Panthers. So the Carolina Panthers extended $150 million worth of contracts to guards Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis, with hopes to shoring up that very bad Carolina Panthers offensive line. They then went out and signed Rashad Penny, who is an upgrade at the running back position when healthy. So now they have a running back room of Brooks, Penny, and Herbert. They then went out and signed Jadeveon Clowney, pass rusher from the Baltimore Ravens, for a one-year contract, meaning that this Carolina Panthers team should have some hope, but they will have some growing pains in 2024. Coming in at 31, the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos opened the 2024 season off without Hall of Fame quarterback Russell Wilson, who bolted for the Pittsburgh Steelers in free agency. They did trade for Zach Wilson, a quarterback that they hope can revitalize his career in Denver. They then went into the draft and drafted the talented quarterback Nix out of Oregon, who I think needs 2 years to develop. So that leaves them with the quarterback room of Nix, Statham, and Wilson. Good luck with that. But the highlight of this team is the offensive line that should protect for whichever quarterback that wins the job. But if you look at their wide receiver core, with Sutton leading the way, this could be the worst wide receiver core in the NFL. And if you couple that with the 30th ranked run defense, it could be a very long season for the Denver Broncos. And you can see the brown bags out early in Denver, as 2024 will have a lot of growing pains. Coming in at number 30, the New England Patriots. So for the first time in a long time, the New England Patriots will be without Belichick and Tom Brady. But they have a new head coach in Jerry Mayo, who is under attack by the media for his coaching style, but I personally believe he is the right man for the job. The Patriots went on to excite their fans by drafting the very talented quarterback May out of North Carolina and bringing in Brissett so he can learn and don't have to be rushed into the starting role. Now, if the Patriots can hit on their second round pick, wide receiver Polk out of Washington, and if May can sit and learn for a year and Matt Judon can take this 15th ranked defense to a top 10 defense, and with their open day roster of Brissett and Stevenson and Hunter, the New England Patriots fans should have a lot to cheer about in 2024. Coming in at 29, the Tennessee Titans. So the Tennessee Titans finished last in their division last year with 6 wins and 11 losses. But the Titan fans hope to see more of this with the connection of Levis and Hopkins, since Levis has worked on his throw motion to get the ball out more effectively. And the Titans hope to replace Derrick Henry's production by bringing in running back Tony Pollard. They also signed wide receiver Boyd and Ridley, and with the defense, that really wasn't all doom and gloom. They were the 17th ranked defense, but they were number 1 in red zone defense, and they only gave up 21.6 points a game. So with that being said, the Titans fans should have a lot to cheer about in 2024. Coming in at 28, the New York Giants. There are only 2 positives for the Giants in 2024, and it's the 6th pick of the draft in Neighbors. This guy is a phenomenal wide receiver and should lead the Giants in the future. And they also drafted the top safety who led college football in picks, but this is what they lost. This is what the Giants had last year with Saquon Barkley. But expect to see this same type of run from the Eagles, since the Giants did not want to pay Saquon Barkley. Now, this is what the Giants will have to look forward to in 2024. Since you gave Jones that big contract, this is what you have to look forward to in 2024. You're going to see a lot of this in 2024, and this Giants team is going to probably finish 31st or 32nd in 2024. Couple that up with they brought in Singletary, and they gave up their all-pro safety. It's not going to be a lot of smiles in New York City. Coming in at number 27, the Washington Commanders.
With the second pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Jaden Daniels.
Being the only player in FBS history to have 12,000 passing yards and 3,000 rushing yards, introducing Jaden McDaniels to the Washington Commanders fan base. This young man is dynamic. He is a pinpoint passer. And with these electrifying Lamar Jackson type runs, this team could actually be the scariest team that no one is talking about. And if you look at the players they brought in Austin Eckler and Zach Ertz, followed by their new coach Dan Quinn, this Commander team could challenge 9 wins, giving the Commander fan base a lot to cheer about in 2024. Coming in at 26, the Arizona Cardinals. Bleacher Report has the Arizona Cardinals as the worst defense in the NFL. And the Arizona Cardinals play in one of the toughest divisions. That means the Arizona Cardinals fans don't have a lot to look forward to except a healthy Kyler Murray and they can't miss wide receiver draft pick Marvin Harrison. And coming in at number 25, the Minnesota Vikings. The good news for the Minnesota Vikings is that they signed their all-pro wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, to a big contract. The bad news is that Sam Darnold is their quarterback, and this is what the Minnesota Vikings fans have to look forward to all season. It will be a lot of doom and gloom. At 24, the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders finally got it right by hiring Pierce as their head coach, someone who Max Crosby loves, and they finished the season 3-1 with 2 defensive touchdowns over the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas Day. And they bringing back running back White, who last year had a 4.3 yard per carry average. If they can get a little bit more of this from their quarterback to Adams, they could be in great shape in the 2024 season. After signing their rookie, Brock Bowers, the Raiders look good for 2024. Coming in at number 23, the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks defense gave up 45 touchdowns and came in 25th ranked in the NFL and had a really good defensive line in 2023. But that will change in 2024 with the hiring of Mike Macdonald, the Ravens defensive coordinator, and a great young coach who should change this defense in Seattle. And if you couple that with a great running game with Kenneth Walker, who should bounce back in this upcoming season, and with the star wide receivers Metcalf and Lockett, and their young second-year wide receiver in Jigba, and if we can get a little bit more of this with Geno Smith, if he can get back to his 2022 numbers, this Seattle Seahawks team should be competing for a playoff spot and makes the fans happy in Seattle in 2024. And at 22, the New Orleans Saints. So the Saints' 2024 season will depend on if 33-year-old quarterback Derek Carr has anything left in the tank. Now, judging by his 2023 numbers, he only had 8 interceptions with 25 touchdowns and 3,800 yards. If he can score 21 points and then turn it over to defensive coordinator John Wood's defense, who came into the 2023 season with a top 10 defense led by linebacker Davis and their explosive pass rusher Cameron Jordan. And if you couple that with their ball-hawking safety Tyrann Mathieu, this team is in great shape. And with their freak of nature, talented wide receiver Chris Olave, who makes one-handed catches, as well as all other great catches, this team could be in store to challenge for the division and give the Saints fans a lot to cheer about in 2024. And 21 on my list, the Chargers. Since entering the NFL in 2020, no QB has thrown more fourth-quarter interceptions than Justin Herbert, 16. So the Chargers went out and hired the best coach to rectify this problem with Justin Herbert and hiring John Harbaugh. So now in the fourth quarter, you should see Herbert doing more of this than what he has done in his past 4 seasons. This is a daunting task with Herbert's number 1 target, Eckler, who have departed to the Redskins, and his second favorite target, Allen, who is gone, and also Williams, who left. This team is going to struggle. Now they have a rebuilt running game with the often injured Dobbins and Gus Edwards. And you couple that with the last ranked defensive line in the NFL, and if you look at the division that they're in with the Chiefs and the Raiders, this team could actually finish 3rd in the division. So I don't see a lot of hope for this team in 2024. Coming in at 20, the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts finished the 2023 season 9-8 and in 3rd in the division. And their quarterback, first-year quarterback Richards, had 577 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not bad for a first 4-game stretch of a rookie career. And now with Taylor being healthy, you should see Taylor doing more of this in 2024. And if you add Richardson being able to do more of this team could be formidable, and you should see more of these kind of celebrations coming from the Colts in 2024. And if you add a defensive line that's ranked top 10, the fans in Indianapolis should have a lot to cheer about, and they should challenge the Texans in the AFC South. And at 19, the Buccaneers. The NFC South will go through the Buccaneers as they are back-to-back champions led by the rebirth of Baker Mayfield, who threw for 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions, earning him his much-deserved contract extension. And the Buccaneers also did right by veteran wide receiver Evans, keeping him with Godwin. And for the breakout season of running back White, they also signed the 125th pick in the draft, running back Irvin, who will add a great punch to this running game. The fans in Tampa Bay should be cheering for a third straight NFC South championship. And coming in at 18, the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears come into the 2024 season boasting the #1 rush defense in the league. And they picked up the #1 pick, who is being compared to Patrick Mahomes. And if he can bring some of this amazing playmaking ability to a Bears team that is stacked on the offense, the Bears will be formidable in 2024. And when you look at his weapons in DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and the amazing tight end Cole Kmet, this team will be absolutely phenomenal. And if he can bring some of this flair, and if he can have a CJ Stroud type of a season, the Bears fans will have a lot to cheer about in 2024. Coming in at number 17, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers shored up their quarterback room by trading for Fields and then going out into free agency and picking up Russell Wilson, who will mentor Fields for 2 years until he is ready to take over quarterback duties. Now you put Russell Wilson back into what he is good at. That is the play action pass, with the Steelers having an excellent run game led by Najee Harris and excellent downfield targets in Pickens and the over-the-middle target in Fairmouth, and this Steeler offense should flourish in 2024. But make no mistake, guys, this team is led by Mike Tomlin, a coach who has never finished below 500 in his entire coaching career. And don't forget about the best player in the NFL on defense, which is TJ Watt. As long as he keeps doing this to opposing running backs, this team will be able to challenge the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals for the AFC North crown. 16, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Trevor Lawrence Calvin Ridley experiment was short-lived, being that it was only 1 year. Now Kirk, who is their most explosive wide receiver, returns, as well as their best overall weapon in Travis Etienne, and their best tight end, Evans, also returns, allowing them to go into the draft and picking up Thomas, the first-round draft pick out of LSU. This gives Trevor Lawrence no excuse to bounce back from his subpar 2023 season. The Dirty Birds from Atlanta is 15th. The Atlanta Falcons went out and got their man Kirk Cousins, signed him to a big lucrative contract offer, and all they did to reward this man was go into the first round in the draft and draft his replacement, Penix Jr. This is a very head-scratching move, and Kirk Cousins, you can't like that. They do have a great running back in B.J. Robinson. They also have a wonderful wide receiver in Drake, who should catch a lot of touchdown passes from Kirk. And if they can get Pitts to live up to his draft stock position, this team could roll. The only concern is their outside linebacking core, but this Atlanta Falcon team should be contending for the NFC South crown. The Rams are 14th. The Rams come into the 2024 season ahead of schedule, led by their rookie wide receiver Puka Nacua, who had the best rookie wide receiver performance I have ever seen in my career watching the NFL. And they had Matthew Stafford, who came in and was healthy. And going into 2024, there is no quarterback controversy, as Matthew Stafford has locked down that quarterback position. Now, the Rams can get anything from their first-round draft pick, their defensive end, and their second-round draft pick, their defensive tackle. That should ease the departure of Aaron Donald and have the Rams looking to be a contender in 2024 if they can get anything from Cooper Kupp. 13, the Miami Dolphins. Other than health, the only concern for the Miami Dolphins is the interior offensive line. So they re-signed Wynn, and they went out into the draft, and in the second round, they signed Call out of Houston. And if they can get anything out of their free agents like Brewer, this team could be contending in 2024. Coming in at number 12, the Buffalo Bills. Now, Josh Allen has led the NFL in interceptions since he came into the league, and this year it won't get any easier as he has a whole new rebuilt wide receiver core. Now he will be thrown to second-round pick Coleman, and they went out in the free agency and picked up wide receiver Curtis Samuel. But with the departure of Diggs and Gabe Davis, this team could actually finish third in the AFC East. 11 are your New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets come into 2024 with high expectations with Aaron Rodgers back under center. But if they do not address their offensive line woes, the 2024 season can end just like the 2023 season ended. 10. America's team, the Cowboys. Now, Jerry Jones went out and traded for Trey Lance last year in case Dak Prescott underachieves this year. But if the defensive line cannot stop the run in 2024, like they could not stop the run in 2023, this will be their result. They will make it to the first round of the playoffs, get blown out as they always do, and their fans will be looking like this. At 9, the Bengals. With the 2023 season in the rearview mirror, you can expect to see Barrow healthy and back under center and doing more of this post-game interviews in 2024. Now, they did ship Mixon off to the Texans, but they replaced him by bringing in running back Zach Moss, who is very explosive. And with Chase still under his rookie contract and Higgins re-signing with the Bengals can now challenge the Baltimore Ravens for AFC North supremacy. Coming in at number 8, the Cleveland Browns. In 2023, the Cleveland Browns had the number 1 defense led by this man, Myles Garrett. And we also had Nick Chubb go down. The question is will he come back and be 100%? But all eyes will be on Deshaun Watson and watching can he get back to his Pro Bowl form that he had with the Houston Texans. I say he gets back to that Pro Bowl form and lead the Cleveland Browns to big things in 2024. At number 7, the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud had the most amazing quarterback season for a rookie in recent memory, and now he has even more firepower at his disposal with the additions of star veteran wide receiver Diggs. Now their defense is also ascending as well, but look at this offensive repertoire at Stroud's disposal with Mixon coming over from the Bengals, and then you have Schultz, and then you have Tank Dell as well as Collins. This team is poised to contend for an AFC Championship game in only Stroud's second year in the league. And coming in at number 6, the Green Bay Packers. I was one of the only people who was high on Jordan Love at the beginning of the 2023 season, and boy was I right, because all this young man did was lead the NFL in touchdowns over the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. And he went into Dallas and destroyed them on their home field. And he had the youngest group of skill position players who were all first and second year players. Now you add Josh Jacobs, and this team is the biggest threat to the 49ers in 2024. And coming in at number 5, the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles had a disappointing end to the 2023 season as they had an embarrassing loss in the wildcard game to the Buccaneers, 32-9, led by a porous defense, which led them to hire Vic Fangio to come in and right the ship. They then went in free agency and got Barkley, and if you now add that with their talented skill positions, this team is going to take over the NFC East in 2024. And at number 4, the Lions. So the Detroit Lions extended Goff on a much-deserved 4-year contract. And coming into the 2024 season, they didn't have any glaring holes except cornerbacks, so they drafted one in the first and second round. And did we forget about this guy here? We don't have to talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown. So this team is poised to get back to the NFC Championship game in 2024. And number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. This was Lamar Jackson's look after the AFC Championship loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, as well as most Raven fans, as the Ravens only ran the ball 6 times. And with the key losses of Queen, Beckham, and Clowney, and both of the running backs, the Ravens went out and signed Derrick Henry to shore up the running game, and then they drafted Nate Wiggins in the first round. And did you guys forget that the Ravens do have the best safety tandem in the NFL? And with having this guy right here, Roquan Smith, the Ravens will be okay, and they will meet the Chiefs again in the AFC Championship game. And at number 2, the 49ers. The 49ers re-signed the best running back in the NFL. And if they can find a way to sign Brandon Ayuk, This team has no glaring holes on the offense or the defense, and if this guy can get just a little bit better in 2024, there's no reason to explain why this team should not make it back to the NFC Championship game. At number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs enter the 2024 season as back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and they boast one of the best pass defenses in the NFL, although they had a bad run defense. They lost Snead, their best cornerback, in free agency, and the way to combat that is going out and signing one of the fastest receivers in Hollywood Brown, and then going into the draft and getting Worthy, who was the fastest receiver in the draft. At least these three will put up a lot of points, and that way the Chiefs will be sure to be contending for their third straight Super Bowl title. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss my future videos. Until the next one, love you guys.